What is up, everybody? Liam and Bert back for week 8. We survived our first scandal, Bert. The industry professionals. This should be expected as our show grows. Probably big companies like BetMGM are hiring people to attack our show because they don't like that winners are being given out. And sure, yeah, maybe I'm down in units the past 2 weeks if you look at my overall bets, but true listeners know my 2 locks of the week batting 100. The Bills 2 weeks ago, the Chiefs last week. Really appreciated people coming into the chat and pointing out that I was the reason they're on the Bills. I could tell that wasn't bothering Bert at all either. Bert, how you doing this week?
Why are you talking about the controversy in our lives as if it's over? I mean, we're going to hold on to that, I think, for the rest of the year, if not longer. I mean,
easily a year, yes.
Yeah, but no, it's been a lot of fun to be doing this show with you. And I saw you say we have 187 per week. I know for a fact there's a 335 view episode in there. But it's been nice to see some comments. I think saw one on our one last week for I believe it was Tommy who said he watches Tommy, every week. So much love to you, and you're just on the ground floor, buddy. This thing can only go up from here.
Building the tower, guys. Build it with us. And yeah, I mean, have I been down units the past 2 weeks? Yes. But, it's my job to be truthful to the audience. So if I'm on a cold streak and you should be oppo betting me, I'm not going to try to change things up to try to fuck with your flow. If you guys have found a gold mine of oppo betting me, I will give that to the community. I'm not gonna get in my head.
The best part about this 3-week stretch. So you came out so hot. I think you had like a double-digit win week, and then you had like a +4 week right after that. And you were like, send me the graphic early. I want to get it on my account, like whatever. And now every week it's just like chipping away at like, it's not about what I think. It's about what I feel. It's not about what I feel. It's about what I think. Everybody knows that we should really only be doing 3 picks that we feel really good about.
I mean,
2 or 3 on those this week.
I'm learning by process. I will say maybe I'm a lock a week. So yeah, if you just bet all your money on that game, is that infinite income? Yes.
Well, yeah, and this is what I was saying at the beginning of the year for me is whoever you go with, you have to assume that you're betting 3, 4, 5 times your normal unit. These are picks. We're not just giving these out for you to, not put the entire house on it. So let's go and make sure.
So yeah, I mean, let's review the slate a little bit. I think it's time to put some teams to bed, primarily the Packers. And
I still don't know about them, man.
The Bucks. Put them to bed. This Jacksonville Giants game, that game was pretty swingy. The Giants killed them at the end. This Arizona game had 2 pick sixes in it.
That was crazy. That was just more Andy Dalton, like he has the game by the reins and then just throws 2 pick sixes to end the first half.
Matt Ryan has been benched for
that's crazy news as well.
He also had a shoulder injury, but apparently they were going there anyways.
For the Sam Ehlinger kid too. So
I remember the Seattle game last week. I actually changed my pick during the show. I was like, fuck it, I'm doing the Chargers one more time. Man, the Chargers might have to bury them as well. Pitt had a real chance to win this game. The Bears destroying the Patriots. It is no secret I'm not a Patriots fan, so sure, do I need to oppo bet to make sure that the Patriots lose in real life? I would say that's worth it. I mean, I will say it's objectively fun for one team to be doing more than one quarterback. So I was a fan of the Patriots doing this Mac Jones, Bailey Zappi. I think we were all surprised by that game, but maybe New England is just not as good as people thought. I mean, even Bailey Zappi, like, sure, he scored 2 touchdowns, but like Devontae Parker had like a crazy catch in traffic, and then there was like a busted coverage or something. And so
they bid on the play action.
Yeah. So I think, and like Mac Jones drives were like run, pass, run. Like those aren't exactly
one of the things that people have been talking about today is that, and not to cross sports here, but you compare this to like
there are no rules on this channel. We can cross
sports.
So
like if you watch Formula One, or if you guys watch Formula One, this year Mercedes, who is perennially like the best team in all of Formula One, won like 10 constructors championships in a row or something like that. They had to everybody redid their car this year. And a lot of teams, they sold out on a couple seasons ago to go for the future here. Mercedes didn't do that. And they
have our audience. You gotta pick through this Mercedes.
What I was going to say is, no, I mean, they're a dominant team like the Patriots were in their heyday. And then you have Lewis Hamilton, who is kind of like the Tom Brady type, or I guess the Mac Jones type in this scenario, and then George Russell. And George Russell outperformed Lewis Hamilton this year, but they said it was because Lewis Hamilton was getting all the car upgrades that he had to kind of maneuver around, whereas George Russell was driving a more basic car, kind of similar to what it looks like happened with Bailey Zappi and Mac Jones. Mac Jones, a very complicated offense. It looks like they're trying to run that San Francisco type deal. Bailey Zappi, having that more dumbed down, just under center type offense. So it was going to come full circle, but that's what happens.
All right, you guys save that 10-minute tangent for like mid-episode or something next time. Couple top down takeaways I would say is I think this Jets versus Denver line is a lesson. Because we took the Jets when it was +1, and I think the lesson there is anytime there's like legitimate injuries to star players on the opposing team. In this case, it was a question if Russell Wilson would start when we took this. Maybe it wasn't as a big a question as people thought, but like if you like the team anyways in a coin flip, like definitely take that action early because this line obviously moved. This Chiefs line got
Don't forget the Subway commercial either. That came out after.
That's been out for a while. It just got popularized then.
Okay.
The Chiefs one actually got bet down to -1. This one made no sense to me where basically I think people just like 1 for 1 were like the Bills D is good and they shut down the Chiefs a little bit and the Niners D is good.
Oh, yes. The Chiefs line was all about the Bills.
Well, it had a lot to do with them losing the week before. And the Niners D is good, but like they didn't shift. They don't play defense the same way as the Bills do. So like teams aren't built the same. Another lesson is, I mean, this is more for like over under, but like this Atlanta game, they were like down like 21 points and Marcus Mariota still only attempted 13 passes. So like, sure, that offense can be efficient, but it just seems like betting unders against Atlanta is the way to go because they're not going to pass even if they're down big points. They just kept on running the ball. And other than that, like, yeah, I guess New England's not as good as people thought. Maybe Justin Fields is turning the corner a little bit. I don't really know.
I mean, this thing that I watched last night, I mean,
yeah, what's your takeaway? Give it to us fresh. I mean, overall, a more boring slate of football because we didn't have the Eagles on. The Eagles didn't play and the Bills didn't play, and those are two of the best teams in football. And we're clearly seeing the league as a have and have not league where there's only a couple of have teams in the league, and then it's kind of like, I mean, I like defensive football, but I can understand why some don't. And it's just kind of like ugly offense, which is not exactly what the league wants. But yeah, give us your fresh take of this New England game. A disappointing 3-4 now, right?
3-4. Yeah, and I don't even
in a big game this week against the Jets
really know where to start with. I mean, that is the type of behavior that you see.
Okay, how about we start here? Mac Jones or Bailey Zappi, both are healthy. I mean, I think
I mean,
I mean, we've never seen something swing more where it's like the whole crowd was like, "Holy shit, it's Zappe! This is the next Brady." He comes in, does 2 touchdowns, and then you give it like 15 more minutes, and the whole crowd was like, "Oh no, we jumped the gun on that."
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if that's 100. Mac Jones,
you didn't get a fair shake. I don't think
comes in last year, takes the team to the playoffs, gets 2 offensive coordinators who have never called plays before on the offensive side of the ball, gets injured, and then comes in and starts 3
Okay,
series.
but that's like Bill's fault. If that, like, you can't be like Bill.
I'm not like protecting Bill here. I'm like, what we just witnessed this. I mean, like, I'm speechless.
And for you guys are 8-point favorites. So
why did they even start him? Like, what was the point of bringing him in to take him out? Like, just pick a QB and start the guy. Like, what are we doing?
You got to sell some clicks, man. You got to do that double. I mean, there was rumors before the game this would happen.
Well, yeah, I guess he was like going around telling, or I mean, I guess he had shared it with like some insider people, but it's just, I mean, to come in and not know or not start the guy that you have the experience with, and he's your first round pick. We may have broke this kid. Like, this is not acceptable. And I mean, like, he comes in and immediately, this is not the situation to bring him in where Bailey Zappe has the hot hand and he's coming off of an injury. You do that in an away game, or you wait for Zappe to kind of turn back into a pumpkin, and then all right, we're going back to our actual starting quarterback.
Yeah, I mean,
it just made no sense at all. And then to play him 3 series, and then at halftime, he's saying, "Oh, he's going to play again." I mean, it just the whole thing.
Did he come back? Did Mac come in back in the half?
No, and you had people, Jacoby Myers and Ramondre Stevenson saying
it was weird. It was like people talking in the sideline. They're like,
saying, like, we didn't know this was the plan, but apparently it was the plan. But to not explain it to your offense, I mean, it is mind-boggling.
Yeah, not a good look for the
it's
squad.
Up there with the Malcolm Butler benching. I mean,
well, I mean, I think Mac Jones is clearly the guy they need to roll with. Zappe's fun, but like the thing with Zappe,
I'm not like when he was throwing. When he came out, it was a laser show, and he's just,
Well, that was the scouting report on
crawling
him.
all four, or Jacoby Myers crawling all fours to the end zone. You have Austin Devontae Parker catch. It was like, okay,
that was an insane catch.
This is just fun, But even as that was happening, and I was being like kind of sarcastic on the group chat of like, oh yeah, get Mac out of there, and then as soon as Zappe threw a pick, get Mac back in. But like, that was horrific. I'm speechless to how they handled that situation. It is unbelievable that they would handle it. That is such a delicate situation that requires like surgeon's precision, and to handle it with freaking Hulk hands on the way that they have, I don't even know. Like, it's ridiculous.
Rough look. I would say the scouting report on Bailey Zappe is that he actually is like really good in the pocket, but if you can get pressure on him at all, he's done. And that's just tough in the NFL. Like, if you're not mobile,
he's also played
the age of those
quarters total or something like that. So
but the age of the non-mobile quarterback is pretty over, in my opinion. And so, Mac's not
except for Matt Stafford and Joe Burrow, who were in the Super Bowl last year, I guess. But
Joe Burrow is mobile.
I mean, he's like sneaky, but the whole idea of like, oh, you need
but like Bailey Zappe's not even sneaky mobile is the problem. Like, you got to be at like Joe Burrow actually can't, like Matt Stafford, I'll give you, but he's an older age quarterback, and we're seeing now that Matt Stafford without an elite line is done.
Oh, Matt Stafford with an elbow injury.
That's the O-line. That's the O-line 100%, brother. And that's just the truth. But the Bills don't have an elite O-line. The Chiefs do. The Eagles do. But you don't need an elite O-line when you have those guys. All right. Anyways, let's jump in. Do you have any closing thoughts on that before we jump into week 8? of the NFL, past the midway season of.
And I mean, the Rams are starting like a fireman at center or something like that.
That's what I'm saying. But like,
a guy up off the street, but
like that's common in the NFL that you don't have elite. Like, it's very rare to have good O-line.
It's not common to have a fireman on your offensive line.
Okay, but
awesome.
they've had great O-line play for years, and I just don't think people really are hip to that. But you want to just jump into these games, Bert?
Sure.
This is two teams, the Ravens versus the Bucks, with the 45 under over, with the Bucks at homes, where two teams who are clearly, I would say, not as good as we thought, where the Ravens have been a little bit disappointing. The Bucks have been majorly disappointing. How about you lead us with this one? The Ravens are 1.5-point favorites on the road.
Yeah, the classic under over bet. Let's try and at least sound like we have gambled before. It is over under, but
whatever. I'm hosting over here. I'm doing a lot of things in the back scenes. I know you only have the job of looking at the show that I'm driving.
I only have the job of winning our listeners money right now. So,
and also, I would be doing the show at a prompt time where I'm my sharpest, like noon o'clock, but I adjust the schedule for you, Bert. So
people that have jobs during the day. Yeah. I mean, two teams that seem to kind of be in free fall. I guess Baltimore has a little bit more together. So -1.5 Baltimore here, I guess. I mean, I don't feel good about either of these teams. I wouldn't be surprised if Tampa comes in and rights the ship either, but it's.
Yeah, I mean, I don't exactly like Tom Brady, so I think it's pretty fluky. Like, Mike Evans comes out last week and drops like a 60-yard touchdown to start the game. But I'm rooting for the Ravens, so it feels like the Bucs should right the ship eventually, but maybe Tom Brady's cooked. I released a poll on Twitter. I said, is Tom Brady cooked? Is Aaron Rodgers cooked? And then I gave some mixed match options, like one yes, one no. A lot of people said they're both done. We will see. Moving on to a more exciting game, the London game with the Denver Broncos. Do not know if Russ is going to be back for this. He's not on IR, so Russ could be back, could not. Greg Dulcich looked good. Jerry Jeudy without Russell Wilson got some things going last week. Denver still has a great defense. I am going to side with the better defense in the Denver Broncos plus the points, where, this defense is really good. And with two teams not that good, I'll happily take the points and the better defense. But Denver has all the pieces too, just, not coaching, maybe not quarterback, but they have enough with the defense to get it done. So I'm taking Denver plus 2.5 in London. How do you see it, Bert?
I'm taking Jacksonville here. I mean, this to me is very similar to them kind of going up against a team that is not very good, like LA, and putting up a lot of points. Maybe not as much points with Denver's defense, but LA's defense was pretty good the week that they played them as well. So let's. I
don't think so. I thought they were going to be good, but they are not.
Well, they had that's when they still had Bosa. I mean, that injury has really hurt their defense this year.
Yeah, I think it's also just like their linebacker play. Like, they're just getting gashed on the ground. All right. The Patriots, I believe I asked you last week if the Patriots and the Jets were playing, what did you think the line was going to be? I think you said something like Patriots -2.5.
No, I said it would be a pick 'em. I said it would.
Oh, yeah, you said pick 'em. I said maybe I said -2.5 then, or maybe -4.
I think you said like -4, yeah.
Yeah, and if the Patriots win last week, I think I would have been right at the Jets here, though. But they didn't. The Jets did win. They lost Breece Hall for the year, which is really unfortunate, both for my high-stakes best ball teams, had quite a bit of Breece Hall. And also for the Jets, man. Now, I think the Jets being a playoff team is kind of fun. I said before the season to you, because we talk a lot, and I said hey, these Jets, I think the Jets have a better roster than the Patriots. That just the question is quarterback. And I mean, the Jets are winning Sam's their quarterback. Like Sauce Gardner, still elite. He's just so long. Also elite at getting away with some like PI, I guess, but whatever. That's a veteran move. And then the Jets traded for James Robinson from the Jaguars to replace Breece Hall, which I don't think Jacksonville Nation liked losing him, but makes sense. You know, like the Jets are a surprising 5-2 or whatever they are. So really big game where honestly, if the Jets, like, I'm not going to say it's a must win, but it's a must win kind of for both teams, definitely for the Patriots. So Bert, how do you?
Yeah, I mean, this is just to me one of those classic buried in the early afternoon games that we look up and New England is up by like, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 points. So I like them to cover here, even though I had a -8 against the Bears. But hopefully they come in a little bit more with a plan, I guess. And last week with the defense, it was such a disaster to have, or last night, not last week.
Ooh, D-Wise, interesting color you're adding there. We know that the Bills are going to trounce the Jets, but you know, you guys are a fun team. I'm still rooting for you.
But yeah, I mean, they just didn't set the edge the entire game against Justin Fields. So I don't know. I guess we'll see. But I like New England here.
Yeah, not a secret. Not a fan of the Patriots. I'm going to take the Jets plus 1.5. Where give me the Jets defense. Give me the Jets. Give me Zach Wilson converting some first downs on the ground. Their run game. Just try not to put the ball in Zach Wilson's hand, and give me the Jets plus the points where the Jets shock the world again. All right, moving on.
I mean, I'm not even sure if that would be. I guess they are underdogs, but
I think it would be if you were told the Jets would be 6-2.
Yeah, no, that
would be like, what the hell are you talking about? Who are the two Jets losses to? They lost to.
Oh, they're bad ones, I think, too.
They almost lost to the Steelers. They didn't. Let me look this up.
It wasn't the Commanders, was it?
They lost to
Baltimore.
Pull this up. Oh, they lost to Baltimore. I think week 1. Yeah, week 1. They stole one in Cleveland, and they lost to the Bengals, which is fine. And then, yeah, I mean, like, they've been kind of lucky, to be honest. Like, they played the Dolphins without Tua. They played the Broncos without Russ. But screw it, man. The good luck Jets. We got D-Wise, a big Jets fan, I guess. All right. Moving on to there's like 3 lines that's over 10 points. So this one is Pittsburgh on the road versus the Eagles off of the bye. Pitt, I think if you're a Pitt fan and you're not totally delusional, you got to feel kind of good about the Steelers, where they got the rookie in there. They've lost a bunch of like 1-score games other than that Bills game, or they've won. And they were in position to beat the Dolphins. They were in position to beat the Jets. In some ways, I want to say that like Pickett can move the ball and kind of keep this close. In the other hand, like Jalen Hurts and the wide receivers and the running backs could just smash the Steelers. So I'm just going to lean into this have and have not league and give me the Eagles minus 10.5. But I do like the Steelers to still move the ball. But yeah, if Philly wants to trounce on points, which they haven't really shown that they do, but if they want to, they can. So give me an efficient game from the Eagles in this one. Phillies minus 10.5.
Yep. Love the Eagles coming off a bye. This is, it's a big line, but taking them at minus 10.5 here.
Yeah, this off the bye talk, by the way, just like something I've noticed is sometimes it doesn't play out that way, where like we think like, oh, the team will be rejuvenated.
Well,
but
sometimes one
sometimes
of 2 ways usually, right? Which is
like sometimes the player like goes to Atlantic City and gambles all by
on the, especially if you start the year 6-0,
Yeah, maybe you're the big
easy.
talk around town. You go home.
No, I mean that's not bad, but I think they've got it pretty together. Jalen Hurts is like a notoriously hard worker and unbelievable leadership skills, people say. So I could see him.
Yeah, I mean, people were talking about whether he's even going to be like starting this year. So good for him. Like that
he's an amazing story, man. I mean, it's really hard not to root for that guy to be.
Yeah, and he's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. He's not even just like a starter. He's like literally one of the best.
To be the top of the college landscape and then have that taken away from you and then come back in, win an SEC championship as the backup, get re-benched, and then get taken in the later rounds. And then I mean,
he was kind of like fucked around with.
Would you rather have Hurts or Tua? I think
Hurts, no question.
Pretty obviously Jalen Hurts, but Tua started over him in college, which is just crazy.
Yeah. Well, and that has to do with egos of college coaches. Like it's not like it mattered for Alabama.
Well, I don't know. It also depends on.
But like some coaches, like I don't want to have a running quarterback. I want to be throwing darts on, And Hurts did work on his game. But anyways, this game opened at 10, and then after the Bears, surprising win, it is sitting at 9. Dallas with Dak back didn't exactly look impressive, but this defense is again very legit. The Cowboys D, the Bears, I would expect they come back down to earth, but I think you can, or it's I don't know. I think it's your turn to talk us through it. How do you see it, Bert?
You okay?
Yeah, just itching my eye.
The one thing that's really interesting coming out of this week, Micah Parsons' MVP campaign is starting up. I don't know if you've seen any stuff on that.
Okay, no defensive guy's ever going to get the MVP or defensive player of the year, or
no MVP. Okay. Because a lot of people are saying that it's a kind of middling year, with the exception of Josh Allen is like going to break all these records and
Hurts
end up a 1 seed or whatever. But I mean, that it's not crazy. I mean, he is having as big of an impact on the game as I guess when Lawrence Taylor won his MVP.
It is insane, but it just doesn't happen.
Dropped in coverage, like it's. I mean,
he's a freak. I don't deny, but like, it's clearly Josh Allen or Hurts. It just is.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, QBs typically are the MVPs, but yeah, that was just interesting to hear a lot of pundits coming out and saying that he should maybe be the MVP. Yeah, I mean, this is a classic Chicago come down to earth game. Dallas, they struggled in the first half with Dak being back. Notice that they did not bench him for Cooper Rush after 3 series. But
a little different, but
I mean, not really. If you're going to start, whoever you're going to start, you should not.
It's not like, yeah, I mean, it is because Mac is not owed what Dak is. And Cooper Rush versus Bailey, like Bailey and Mac are close. And Mac is coming off injury, and Dak and Cooper are not close.
Well, Cooper Rush was what, 4-0 or whatever, and people.
Yeah, he was game managing. Good for him. But like.
Either way, what I'm saying is you put your QB in, you let them finish the game. You don't take them out after 3 series.
Good point, D-Wise.
Okay. Well, Jesus. Notably not true. He's had a tough season this year. Pretty much as bad of a second year as you can have. Not necessarily his fault. So yeah, Dallas -9.
Yeah, I like Dallas -9. I'll definitely take the 1.5 we're being gifted for the Bears winning, where the Cowboys don't play defense the same way the Patriots do. The Patriots don't have anyone of Micah Parsons' caliber or even Trayvon Diggs' caliber on their defense. So And, obviously the Cowboys offense is much better than New England's offense, who just played the Bears. So I do like the Bears. It's just, maybe they can get first downs. Maybe Justin Fields has turned it around, but probably not. Moving on to a very exciting game. I think this line seems pretty bad, in my opinion. I'll talk us through this one where I definitely like the Dolphins -3.5 to beat up on the Lions. It's going to be in the Dome. I see no way the Lions D is going to slow down Tyreek, Tua, Waddle, Mostert. And the Lions, they should have Amon-Ra back, who got concussed on the first play of the game. That was rough for my wallet last week. DeAndre Swift might be back. So if those two guys come back, they can at least move the ball, hopefully. But just give me the Dolphins should just be able to put up, 40 if they want to. Where I think we're just getting a discount on this because the Lions have shown good offense in the past, and I guess the Dolphins struggled against the Steelers, but
Detroit didn't play last week, right?
They did. They got destroyed by the Cowboys.
Oh, right. Yeah. They were leading that game we were actually just talking about. Sorry.
Yeah. So I'm going to take Miami -3.5. One of the more confident ones I've taken right now. Yeah,
Detroit is in that stick a fork in them category that we mentioned at the beginning of the show. Seemed like they kind of might have it together at the beginning of the year, but
we were all suckered in by those up downs of.
Well, Coach it's hard Campbell. Not. Yeah. Well,
who wouldn't be? Who could
Hard Knocks does this every year, where it's this must be the best team ever. And then because you get to intimately know so many of the players and coaches, and especially when they're likable, and then they did come out and have a couple good games, barely losing or even winning. I think one of them. But yeah, Miami, I think that they are a good team. I don't think Detroit is not. So Miami here.
Yeah. All right. Moving on to another exciting game in the Dome. The Cardinals back with DeAndre Hopkins. They also traded for Robbie Anderson, who I would expect would play more snaps. The Vikings are coming off the bye at home. How do you see it, Bert? Vikings -4.
Hell of a game for Nuke last week, huh? But
yeah, man, we were robbed of seeing a fun Cardinals offense with Hollywood Brown getting hurt that week.
Yeah,
he will be back, but
with if that will really be that fun with Cliff Kingsbury. Yeah, I like Minnesota here. They've been winning ugly, and they were on bye last week, so like them coming off the bye. They're through a tough part of their schedule, having to do London with quite a few divisional games in there. I think they roll here, take care of business.
Give me the Cardinals +4, where this Vikings team has been beat deep by wide receivers all year. So either that's going to be Hopkins, or maybe Robbie Anderson breaks one deep, or maybe Rondale Moore gets involved. And I think maybe Hopkins was the piece the Cardinals were missing. The defense is playing a lot better than it has talent for. They kind of have a shutdown outside wide receiver where maybe JJ has to work in the slot. So give me the Cardinals in the Dome, man. Kyler always plays well in the Dome. Come on, Cardinals, +4 here. All right, moving on to kind of a shocking over-under of 50 in the Raiders-Saints game. Unknown who is going to be quarterback in this Saints game. My guess is the second.
Feels like this is a running bit.
Yeah, but
every week is just who's the QB?
Yeah, it is, but we still don't know. And my guess is after Andy Dalton's pumpkin performance last week, where he threw those 2 pick sixes. Now he did turn it around, had a good offense. That if Jameis is healthy, they're going to roll with him. Taysom is going to be involved every week. The Raiders are looking real legit. I am going to be taking the Raiders -2. Where this Saints team, I thought their defense was going to be good, and they've been so disappointing. And I mean, maybe the Saints are going to get back they're going to get back Michael Thomas and Jarvis Landry. Probably not, though. And so it's pretty much like Chris Olave and then like journeyman out there. And so give me the Raiders, man, who have been playing real good ball. Josh Jacobs is looking like a stud. Devontae Adams is still out there. The Raiders need some wins, too, to make up for a disappointing start to the year. So give me the Raiders -2. Don't really understand why this one is so close unless famous Jameis and all of the Saints wide receivers return.
Yeah, totally in total agreement. It's the Raiders. They're gonna roll here.
All right. Panthers at Falcons. Falcons -4.5 at home. How do you see it, Bert?
So Atlanta started 6-0 against the spread. I think I pretty much didn't take them all but 1 week during that stretch. Finally capitulated and took them last week where they did not cover. Carolina's line, I think, is just increased by the fact that Tampa didn't score any touchdowns on them.
I mean, their defense is good.
Man, I have so many favorites this week. This is going to be bad, but I guess I like Atlanta here. I mean, I'm taking who I like, so that's them.
Yeah, I mean, I know what you see a lot with these. I mean, this is total anecdotal, but what you see a lot with these like fired interim coach teams is like they come out the first couple weeks with their hair on fire with the new coach and they perform well. And we saw that with the Panthers. Like, I mean, yeah, they lost to the Rams, but like they were doing okay. They had that big win last week. I like the Falcons. Like the Falcons are just going to run this ball so much, and Marcus Mariota is going to have success doing it against the Panthers, I think. So I'm going to take Atlanta -4.5. I think they are a fun team, and the Panthers are kind of due for a letdown after.
Players talk about this all the time too. Like I think Deion Sanders, he had some great interview a couple of years ago where he talks about
Harrison Jones coming up with some defensive takes.
Thank you. Yeah, so he was just talking about that if you have usually when a coach gets fired, the entire locker room like really did not like that coach, and the guy that gets hired as the interim is almost like the player's favorite person in the locker room all the time. So they usually come out trying to make them look good and are able, because they're professionals, are able to kind of, at least flip that switch, but they almost always eventually turn back into a pumpkin.
Yeah, I mean, PJ Walker is kind of due for a letdown, and this Falcons team just got embarrassed, man. So like they got to respond, because they're actually like with the Bucs losing, this division is wild. It could be the Saints in the playoffs. It could be the Bucs. It could be the Panthers. It could be the Falcons. Like it's probably the Bucs, but is it gonna be that insane if one of these like this? This could legitimately have playoff implications. A almost November Panthers-Falcons game. That's fun. That's fun football. Same with the Saints game, man. Like the Saints like pretty much have to win this, and then they're in the thick of it too. Especially if the Bucs lose to the Ravens.
Who are your 4 division winners right now, would you say?
In the AFC or the NFC?
NFC.
NFC?
AFC, I think, is more cut and dry.
NFC, so we're going to go with the Vikings in the North or whatever that is. And then obviously the Eagles. And I really need to look at the schedule of the Bucs versus a team like the Falcons. Because the Bucs were the 1 seed, they might have to go through teams like Buffalo. I just need to see that to pick that division. And then I think that
would only be 1 game though, and they're not playing the East this year.
But do they have to play the Chiefs where another team gets to play the Broncos
this year?
I think they're playing they might be playing the West.
I think we're matched up with the West.
So they got the Ravens, Rams, Seahawks, who are actually much better. Browns, who
they're playing that division. They're playing the North this year.
Yeah,
but they also have one game against some
the Niners, the Bengals, the Cardinals, the Panthers. They have a ton of losable games.
Oh, they already played. No, never mind. Here, go up. They already played the Chiefs. Yeah, okay, so they're playing the West.
Yeah, they're playing the West. So the big ones are like they have a ton of games that they could lose. The Bucks. So give me the Falcons in that division to shock the world and win that division. And then I think the NFC West is a real crapshoot right now where it's like, I just don't understand why Vegas respected the Niners so much against the Chiefs. That would have to be one I look at the schedule as well, because if Seattle has a cakewalk schedule, they could definitely steal it.
I think Seattle. I mean, this is like a nice story, I think, but like, if they
nice story, but like Geno is actually good. Like,
yeah, I mean, I'm still not willing to admit that. Like, I understand he's playing well. So Ryan Fitzpatrick was never good, but
yeah, well, I mean, him without DK Metcalf, who has a big injury. But yeah, I guess give me the Niners.
Yeah, I like them too. I mean, and then the only thing I would maybe say is, and I know that they seem dead, but like, it is hard not to take Green Bay in that division. That's the only one that gives me kind of pause.
Over the Vikings?
And then the Bucks too.
We should do a separate episode just talking through.
Yeah, we could just do it now.
Yeah, okay. Did I not pick one? Did I pick everyone in the NFC?
Yeah, I think you had all three divisions.
Yeah, I mean, definitely the Eagles over the Giants. Give me the Niners here, but I would need to look at schedule between these teams because like it's all close enough. Definitely the Vikings, but I mean, like the Vikings have like they have to play Buffalo next week, so. But
the Packers are playing the Vikings or playing Buffalo.
The Bills, yeah, so that evens out. And then I mean, like let's look at this Falcons schedule. Can they steal this compared to? Yeah, like they have to do is like beat the much more beatable Chargers, and like look at this schedule.
Panthers is pretty.
So big games:
Panthers,
Bears,
Chargers,
Commanders, Steelers,
Chargers, Panthers, Falcons, Commanders, Steelers, like Saints. I mean, really, up until the Ravens, they should go undefeated. They should be favored, right, in all those games.
They're not going to be favored in this.
Maybe not against LA because people are stupid.
But what the Falcons do well is the Falcons run the ball, and what the Chargers do poorly is defend the run, like very poorly. So like win. That's 5 wins right there. Then all you have to do is like beat like the Saints, and then like one of these two. You know, and like they're like a shocking 10-win team. So I don't know, like much easier path for the Falcons. But, you know, like if the Saints get their pieces back, like maybe they're just the clear team. Like if they get their wide receivers back. Bit of a tangent here, guys. I'll have to deal with this. Saints schedule, much harder.
Way harder.
You know, like much harder. And then the Panthers, I'm not even going to look at. But yeah, they're out there. I would have to do the same thing for the NFC West because, like, who do I want to make the playoffs? I want the Cardinals to make the playoffs because I think it's like more fun when like elite quarterbacks are in there.
I don't think it's fun to watch the Cardinals in the playoffs at all.
I think with Hollywood and Hopkins it could be, but
last year was not fun at all.
Yeah. So I mean, having looked at that, are you sticking with do you got the Falcons or you got the Bucks?
Oh, I got the Bucks. I mean, it's hard to imagine that division being that up for grabs that they're not going to nail that down.
Yeah, I mean If they go,
let's just say like they could lose the next 2 weeks, and I still probably would say they're probably going to be okay.
They need to sweep their division games.
Which I like that to me is totally on the table. Like they could end up 6-11.
Yeah, but like if they drop like these 3 games and they drop 3 here, and then they only win 4 more games, like that's not getting it done. Yeah. It could be a season where a 7-win. Let us know, guys, in the chat. Who do you got, Bucks or Falcons for the playoffs? All right, I'll drop that on Twitter too. I think that's a fun discussion. Pretty surprising line here. Titans -2 on the road. No idea whose turn it is to go first. So how about you start us off here, Bert?
I mean, I feel like the Titans are kind of now at a point that we're expecting them to win the South, right? So
yeah, I don't know how we don't.
I mean, how are they only 2-point favorites?
I don't know. This is a shocking one to me too.
It just
Tannehill is questionable. We don't know if Tannehill is playing this game.
Okay, even so.
Which honestly, like, give me Malik Willis.
Do they? Oh. Yeah, they drafted quarterback this year, and then
like he's not ready, but
they're going like if Derrick Henry goes for like 250 yards in this game, are you surprised at all?
I mean, yes, because the Houston D is not that bad, but like I guess maybe not because they are kind of bad on the ground.
Yeah, that's not like they're gonna gash. They're just gonna gash, and I mean, this is probably my favorite game of the week. I mean, Tennessee.
Yeah, if like 2. I don't like throwing around the term trap game, but it kind of feels that way because it seems so obvious, right? Like, what are we missing? Tennessee -2.
Might be all favorites. I might have to go back and take a dog.
You have all favorites right now. Yes, I have 3 dogs, but like the Denver, I don't even understand why Denver is a dog.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, some of these ones don't make any sense to me, but
all right. The Giants +3 on the road against the Seahawks, man. I mean, Brian Daboll is doing some special shit with the Giants. Like, he is an elite offensive coordinator. He's like turning out great as a coach. He's winning despite Daniel Jones with no legit offensive weaponry other than Saquon. Their defense is playing well, but they like shipped off pieces too. Like Bradbury got signed by the Eagles. They cut him. The Seahawks are also playing lights out with Kenneth Walker's turned it on. Geno Smith is good. DK Metcalf is questionable, but I don't know, man. Like, I think the advanced stats would be like, well, Seattle's a lock here, but screw it. Betting with the heart. Give me the Giants. Give me Daniel Jones and gang moving the ball +3. I'm taking the Giants on the road.
Yeah, this is like a battle of the hottest bad teams in the last 20 years or something. I like New York here. It seems like they really have it figured out this year. They from everything that you see is they just have this elite kind of run game that they do with Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley, this kind of dual-headed attack. And everything you've heard about Seattle is that they changed their defensive system this year, and it's really been disastrous for them. So I really think the only way to kind of stop the Giants from doing what they want to do, or to beat the Giants, to stop them from doing what they want to do, I don't think Seattle can do that. And so I like New York here as well on the road.
Yeah, I mean, DK Metcalf has like a pretty serious injury. Not sure how long it's going to be. And Tyler Lockett's banged up. So like quarterbacks need their wide receivers to like,
and old, just old in general. Like,
yeah, Tyler Lockett's old, but he's been good. But like Marquise Goodwin had like 2 touchdowns last week. I do not think the Seahawks can count on Marquise Goodwin. Notable Bills great wide receiver in like the 2015 era. Like, I don't think we could count on Marquise Goodwin getting it done every week. And like, dude,
put
Kadarius Toney on the fucking field.
What's Stevie Johnson up to?
Yeah, I mean, hey, he could be the Giants wide receiver 1.
Why so serious?
All right, well, the 49ers, after getting like the most respect from Vegas I've ever seen in my life, where they're only 1 point favorites against, or 1 point dogs against the Chiefs, are now 1.5 point favorites against the Rams. I think the Niners got like a bunch of pieces back. The Rams are off bye, so like maybe they had to come to Jesus moment and fix some of these problems. How do you see it though, Bert?
I mean, we were just talking about earlier that their line is in shambles, and San Francisco might have the best pass rush in the NFL.
Yeah,
like on its head, like not. I mean, the best pass rush in the NFL is probably Dallas, just because of Micah Parsons alone. But San Francisco, I mean, Nick Bosa coming off the edge, and those interior guys as well. I mean, they're going to wreak havoc. So San Fran, another favorite for me, I guess, but.
Got to pick it as you see it, man. I am also rolling with the Niners. Like, I think that CMC should get. I mean, like, what do we think? Like, is a week enough to get up to speed? Like, I would say yes at running back. At wide receiver,
he was kind of already. I mean, like fantasy.
He didn't play that much though.
Yeah, I know, but like he was still getting, reps. So
yeah, he was getting in the mix, but like I would expect.
It wasn't like he was in the hoodie on the sideline, like nosing a playbook, which is kind of
no. But I mean, like
people were implying that is what I'm saying. Like
I think it's notable because like this 49ers run scheme is supposed to be extremely complicated. So if that's true at all, it makes sense it could take a little bit longer to get up to speed for like a full playbook. But I don't know, like I totally just throwing numbers out of my ass. I'm going to put like CMC at 80 to 85% of, full offense by now, maybe even close to 100. But like, if he's never had the scheme before, I could see it that way. I did hear something that apparently Kyle Shanahan used to babysit Christian McCaffrey way back when. So
what situation would that have even happened?
You got that narrative. I don't know the full thing. Heard that on Levitan's podcast.
It doesn't make any sense at all because he played at Stanford.
Kyle Shanahan babysit for CMC.
Oh God.
So yeah, I don't know. I guess there's a story here.
It's going back to Cal. Did they live in California at one point, the Shanahans? They lived in Denver.
Just a fresh.
They lived in Denver and Washington.
Blah blah blah. Blah 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 blah. So whatever.
I don't know. That's a weird one.
Am I here, Bert, or am I frozen?
You're there, but you did freeze for a second.
I think that site's pop-ups like destroyed my computer, so
oh no.
Okay, looks like my Wi-Fi is struggling, so hope I can push through this. But anyways, give me the Niners. Maybe the Rams fix things over the bye, but I just think that they have issues with their O-line. But I will note that what the Niners are bad at is like typically defending slot wide receivers, and the Rams have the best slot wide receiver in the game. So that's their chance. All right. The battle of the who at quarterback game, where we have Heineke for the Commanders off of a surprising victory where he didn't look that good. And I think Commanders fans want to see the rookie, Sam Howell. And the Colts are starting, I don't even remember the dude's name right now.
Sam Ehlinger.
Ehlinger or something? Yeah, Sam Ehlinger.
Yeah, he's an old Texas QB.
What do we know about him? Has he gotten some spot starts over the
I actually saw him. I saw him live when I lived in Austin. I mean, from everything you hear, he's one of those guys he was a mid-round guy at a Power 5 school. So I mean, kind of hard to tell with him. He tragically lost his brother a couple of years ago, who was a linebacker on the team as well.
But like, how many years has he been in the league?
Oh, this might be.
He's got some starts, right?
No, I don't think so. This is his second year.
Oh, okay. So an unknown. Well, that kind of makes me like him. Indy is -3, where must win, I guess, for Indy. Washington must win for them too.
I mean, some of these guys are kind of past must win at this point.
I would not say the Colts are, because like the Colts are like that division is what's
Didn't
the
they
Titans
drop
record?
both games to the Titans?
That is bad, but
Yeah, they're done.
That division is just so bad that like you win 6 games in a row and you're leading it. Not that is that feasible.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I kind of like Washington here.
Ooh, taking an underdog.
Colts in shambles. So, I mean, they're kind of you brought Matt Ryan in to they're on their 7th QB.
I mean, like it's so. Let's go through some. Let's talk about some of the Colts' next quarterback targets, because they've gone through. They have a specific type. They had Philip Rivers in his twilight. They had Matt Ryan in his twilight. They had Carson Wentz, who it seems like it was more Colts problems, not Wentz problems. Maybe, I mean, it was both of them. But like, who's next? Like, do they want Tom Brady 4 years from now? Do they want Big Ben?
No.
Year?
Brady would be like. Brady's a bad example because he.
No, I said 4 years from now, Brady. Like 4 years from now, Brady.
I'm saying like he's already won. Like they are a team that it goes both ways.
They want like Matt Ryan in 3 years.
Guys that want to win, and you have like a roster that seems pretty good with a coach that seems pretty good, but there's just something missing, and so that they join with each other. Like a team, like one that would make sense to me is like Kirk Cousins could end up there.
Oh, Kirk Cousins in a couple of years, yeah, but like 10 years from now, like
you can see the horseshoe on there.
We do have to give respect, and this game actually has some moxie between it, because the owner of the Colts, Jim Irsay, who we talked about last week, was the only owner who was open about being like, fuck the Commanders owner, and like screw this guy, like all my dirt's out there. So like the battle of the owners, like this is the narrative for this game. I'm gonna be taking the Colts -3, where I like pieces of the Commanders offense, but if the Colts just commit to running the ball with JT,
Jared Goff would be a great Colt.
Yeah, a couple years from now. If Indy can just commit to JT, and if Ehlinger like unlocks some of their passing weaponry a little bit, like
what is he gonna unlock that Matt Ryan?
Dude, Matt Ryan is just done. Like his arm is actually shot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
I don't know. Ehlinger's an unknown. Like that's like opening a rookie pack or something. Like that's exciting.
I feel so bad for Commanders fans, man. It's
rough. You got to get Snyder out of there.
And they don't even have their D end, Chase Young. Like that. At least you have.
He's coming back soon, though, I think.
Yeah, I know, but like at least when you're bad and you have like one good player.
Yeah, like the Steelers with like TJ Watt. It's like, oh, we got TJ Watt though,
I'm interested to see. I mean, I know what you're going to say here on a -11 line at primetime, but I'm interested because I think this is a tough one.
All right, well, let's jump into it. My turn to go first. Well, so Buffalo off the bye against the Packers, who are reeling. They got back Sammy Watkins last week. They are getting destroyed. They are not using A.J. Dillon at all. They have to win. They're not going to. Aaron Rodgers.
I don't think they're going to win either.
Aaron Rodgers said something like, I don't know. He got something where he probably got misquoted in the media, where it's like, well, this is a get right, like looking forward to our challenging against Buffalo or something. The Bills are going to beat the brakes off the Packers, man. I mean, look, I don't love a -11 line, and this line opened -10, and it's been bet to -11. Because I made a joke yesterday on Twitter, which I don't think the joke came through because some dude asked me about it, but I was like, just as we expected, the Bears, Pitt, and Green Bay 10-point dogs in week 8. And someone's like, well, I did expect most of that. And I was like, well, this was a joke about the Packers being terrible, which we didn't really foresee. I mean, people were picking them as like their NFC Super Bowl team.
Yes. I mean, and that's what's so sad about Aaron Rodgers' career is that he's probably been like the NFC favorite to win a Super Bowl for more than half the years in his career.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm going to take Buffalo -11. Slim chance that Trey White comes back. The only thing that the Packers could do to keep this close is like they play so slow. So if they're down 10 and they're still like just like trying to like chew clock to like save face, that I guess that is a way it doesn't go over. But yeah, I mean the Bills D is light years better than anything the Green Bay has seen either. I think the Bills, like a lot of the Bills team has been together for so long, and there's like not a lot to fucking do in Buffalo. It's not like I don't think this is a team that's going on the bye. And like, sure, they go down to New York City a little bit, but like they're not going to the bye and like, going out on the Vegas Strip. Like a lot of these dudes are.
I don't know if that necessarily matters. What
I think it does. If you got a young team that's like, holy shit, it's the bye. They're like, you got rookies and you got young players who it's their first time in a major market.
The most horrific party was the Fred Smoot in Minnesota on the cruise ship on Lake Minneapolis or whatever. Like,
I don't know what you're talking about right now.
Oh, you have to go and read up on that. It is. I think they're on the bye week, and there's a couple like YouTube videos on it about just some of the stuff that went on this boat. It's nothing like it's not like Buffalo Bills punter territory. It's like it's just like this is what these guys were doing in the middle of the season. Like what the fuck.
Bert, I just had an idea kind of inspired by the Joe Ingram podcast. We should create like a Google number for our channel. And once a week we let
voicemails.
Once a week we let someone call in live, and they give us their favorite line of the week and why. And we're gonna get some duds. We're gonna get some hits or voicemails, whatever.
I think voicemails, if on a live show, it's
hey, everyone knows we don't speak for the audience member calling in,
not everyone knows that.
And if I need to cut a mic short, I got to cut a mic short. Anyways, how do you see this one, Bert? Are you taking the Packers or are you taking the Bills?
Well, what I think is interesting about Aaron Rodgers is, we talk about this all the time, like what really matters in the NFL statistics wise. He is like one of these guys that for some reason, I really think like he might gear in for this game. And
he's going to try, man, but he's like,
and that's the question. Will it even matter?
He's like throwing dudes under the bus. He's saying stuff like, we got to get guys off the field who aren't performing.
Well, and then there's been like little things where he said we need to
like Romeo Dobbs might just be terrible.
He said like we need to simplify things, and they asked Matt LaFleur. Matt LaFleur was like, "What? Like, what does that mean?" I mean, the whole reason we have Aaron Rodgers.
Dude spends an offseason doing peyote and ayahuasca, and people are shocked.
Well, imagine being Matt LaFleur and having your all-pro quarterback saying that, who has 22% of your salary.
Yeah, like, hey, also imagine being him and be like, hey, Aaron, maybe chill on the psychedelics this week. Like that's
and I find Aaron Rodgers to be insufferable, but that especially with that haircut, man, that thing is. But I kind of like them to hang around here, man. Plus 11 is a.
Where do we think the public's going to be on this side?
That's hard to say because
I kind of think the public would be on your side, where they're kind of like, well,
I don't know if that's true, man. Because
I don't. Maybe they're just like Bills go vroom.
Well, everybody loves Buffalo so much this year, and then everybody is really down on Green Bay. But then Green Bay has that crazy fan base. I mean, crazy huge fan base.
Kind of like old though. Their fan base skews real old. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I just think that those
fan bases are team owners for the most part too. So respect those
team owners, dude. That's such a fucking That's a tax scam that they have running around.
The Celtics did it for a while too, and I think they still kind of do have some level of like they're publicly traded among the fan base.
I mean, while we're talking about this, like, it's not okay that states' taxes are like playing into free agency. I think someone asked Tyreek the week that they played the Jets, like, "Hey, Tyreek, why are you in Miami and not New York?" And Tyreek said, "Taxes." Like,
yeah, that sounds like also a scenario where Tyreek thought he was sounding very intelligent instead of saying like,
well, I mean, it doesn't take a big brain to be like, I pay X amount more money here.
Yeah, but also, what about the fact that Miami is probably Tyreek Hill's paradise?
Yeah, he's probably gonna blast there, man.
To Buffalo or whatever. Like,
no, it would have been New York City. Like people, I mean, but maybe like I don't know. Maybe the current players don't like New York City as much. Anyways,
yeah, I mean, I think typically very rich people like New York City.
Well, as someone that was a teacher when I lived in New York City, I can relate to.
Yeah, you probably hated New York.
The global rich. No. All right. Monday Night Football. Before we get out of here, Halloween game, man. I think I'm going to be down in Key West for Fantasy Fest for Halloween. So this will be fun. But this is a Monday night Halloween game. I think you have some, like, isn't your son going to be Han Solo for Halloween and your dog Chewbacca? That's so cute.
Oh, yeah. I'll tweet something out for my 25 followers.
At Pop Warner GM on Twitter, guys.
But he's going to be.
And if you're out there listening and you realize what a diamond in the rough show this is, and you're like, wow, I want to run this channel's socials and upload to Spotify for them. And
for free.
Get us going on Apple Podcasts. Hit me up. If you want to do that, I respect you, and we'll give you some agent hookup where it's kind of like a wink deal. If we get big, we'll take care of you type of deal. You take a leap of faith on us, we take a leap of faith on you.
Yeah, I think it's like very vague terms.
Very vague.
Like we're able to slip out of them, but like you will ultimately be taken care of. But it's one of those things that
let's just say you'll be betting your luck.
We're not going to end up taking a bath for you, but we'll do our best to make sure that
the rising tide lifts all boats, friends. All right, Bert. Monday Night Football, Halloween game. Scary stuff tends to happen there.
Do you think? I mean, they're going to be in the whites, right?
They have to. They got to have that white helmet.
I mean, that's the whole. Like, you're playing a Halloween primetime game. Like, you better dress up.
I mean, 2 Halloween uniforms, Bengals and Browns. I mean, I'm kind of happy that the Browns are Halloween. Who are because they're gonna their fan base will show out. Who are the other top Halloween fan bases? I would say the Raiders.
Pittsburgh
Raiders is a big one. Pittsburgh.
I mean, really, any team that has pretty cool history. I
think the Bills would have shown out for Halloween. I think who else would have?
I think the Bills are better, and this isn't like I think it's because it's like a college.
The Ravens would have been a good Halloween team.
I think the Bills are more of a day game type atmosphere. If there was like a primetime day game, they would be my first pick. Green Bay's kind of in there too, but yeah.
Okay, weird bias coming through for Bert there. Anyway,
I mean, that's like college games are played in the day, and those are 2 teams with college-like fan base or like college-like.
All right, you're just talking about the Super Bowl champions like that, the future Super Bowl champions.
I mean, is the guy that gets like drenched in ketchup and mustard? Is he happier, or does that hit?
That dude does not speak for all of Buffalo. He just.
But I'm saying, does that hit like all the same nerves at 8:15 p.m. as it does at 11 a.m.?
Yeah, anytime I see that, I think that's disgusting. If that's what you're wondering.
No, I think it's awesome. But
it's not for me. But I understand.
Like the whole point, like when you're going through Buffalo, like you expect to see on a cell phone camera, people jumping off of RVs onto tables. You can't do that.
I kind of think Halloween would be fun, man. They'd have some like O.J. Simpson. They'd have some.
Oh God, that's not fun at all.
Well, no, but like a playfully taste on it.
There's no if you're coming
Statute of
to
limitations is passed on OJ.
if you're coming to a Buffalo night game dressed as OJ Simpson, there's no like nuance or whatever it is that you're talking about.
Like white gloves.
Like,
I don't
one
know.
guy is there. One guy is there dressed as Buffalo.
They'd have a lot of Matt Ryan. Not Matt Ryan. Ryan Fitzpatrick. That would be fun.
Yeah.
There would be maybe some Why So Serious.
Yeah,
I don't
that's a
know.
good one.
I don't know what they
There's a lot
do.
of wide
That's kind of what I want to see it because like I don't know what the Bills.
I could see like somebody's dressed like Jason Voorhees, and on the machete it says like wide left, Super Bowl 20 or whatever it was. Like,
I don't like that. Like that takes like an older person to dress up, which like that's already less likely. Anyways, this seems like a trappy line, but fuck it. I'm taking the Bengals -3.5.
yes.
Seems like
I'm assuming they're in the icy whites. So I mean,
yeah, that's a lock. I mean, the Bengals have been passing a little bit more in the past couple of games, and it's paying off for their offense. Sure, Cleveland can move the ball on the ground against anyone, but if the Bengals get it going in the air, that should do it. And I know it's a division. It might even be the second. Have they played once or twice? I don't know.
This is their first, I believe.
All right, guys. So here's our Week 8 full card. On the same page for quite a bit of these. The line I feel best about is Miami -3.5. And then the other ones I would give. I mean, some of these seem, dude. Don't some of these seem so trappy in like Las Vegas and Cincy?
Well, the whole this is what happens every year to me is you have a grip on
Tennessee.
You have a grip on the season, and then teams start taking buys, and how they are affected by the buy really starts to shape the season. So I have no idea, man. This is where it all it all flips on its head. But
I feel real good about Denver +2.5. 2.
That's how do you I can't even. I don't know.
It's just the defense. I just got faith in that defense to show out. And
that must have been like a real pretzel brain moment for you, because I think you've taken Denver and Jacksonville like every week. And those are both bad teams. So,
and then I guess my next favorite would be
gotta be Tennessee. I'm
going to go with Las Vegas as mine, but Tennessee I see as well.
Yeah, Tennessee to me is very obvious.
Kind of feel good about this Arizona one though. This is not financial advice, but this might be the week to parlay every single bet of mine. Feel good about the card, or Apple bet me.
I don't think you need to preface this is not financial advice, and then
you never know
with a 14-leg parlay.
Bert,
this is not financial advice, but don't put it all on one number on roulette.
Which are your top 3?
Obviously, I like Tennessee. Tennessee. I like. Let me see. Sorry. Man, I kind of like that Dallas pick. And then I like.
Yeah, it's just hard to feel super confident about any 10.
Then I'm somewhere between Vegas and San Francisco. I guess I'll go Vegas, San Francisco, Tennessee. No Dallas, because that line's too big.
No, but I'm with you. It feels good to be given the 9 there.
It just like Dak's gotten the rust off. Everything seems to be. They've survived that injury. It seems like everything's clicking for them. Chicago played their Super Bowl.
Dude, name 3 defensive players on the Bears. I don't think I can name one. And I just watched that game.
Roquan Smith, I think, is one.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Okay. Good.
And then I'm
get him next week. We'll get him next week on the other one.
Tillman. That's like Brian Urlacher.
Akeem Nicks is on the Bucks now.
They are one of those teams though. Like when they come out in the blue and orange jerseys, where you're like, this is a good defense. Like, that's because we grew up with them being so good for so long. Baltimore's got that. Who else has that? Pittsburgh and the Raiders kind of have that just because they have intimidating jerseys, even though the Raiders literally got stomped on our entire childhood.
Yeah. All right, guys, if you enjoyed the show, hit the like, hit the subscribe button, drop a comment. You know, it means a lot when the 5 or 6 of you rolling with the show each week. Drop a comment. And hey, if you want to thank me for the Chiefs last week, I noticed none of you guys.
Whoever's out there thanking Liam for his performance these last 3 weeks is a masochist.
Wow, really? We got the comment at the end here. Oh, that was under the wrong burner.
Let's can we just ask Harrison real quick, who's winning the AFC North this year?
Yeah, Harrison, who you got in the AFC North? Our Steelers.
Our Steelers on it.
I will say we're doing this show on Tuesdays going forward, so don't forget that. I'll be back on probably Thursday or Friday for my DFS breakdown. DFS went okay for me last week. Didn't get killed, so
yeah,
I'll take it.
Good.
And Steelers easy. All right, Harrison riding with his guys. See you guys.
All right, bye.